Today on Suncoast View, Florida wants to snuff out deaths and medical costs from tobacco. We'll talk about big changes proposed in a new state bill.
Our favorite Suncoast realtor is also a new dad, and he has an international adoption story to share about his first holiday season together.
And Selby Gardens is all lit up for the holidays. We have a sneak peek of a great Suncoast family outing. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and we welcome senior producer Joey Panic back to the desk today. I will say pinch hitting for Kelly Jaco, who has sick children, because 'tis the season where everybody's juggling and lots of flu bug going around.
Yes, those little petri dishes
that we hug and kiss and bring. I also think that the reason Joey agreed very rapidly, might I add, to sub in today is because it is Chef Judy's best places to go out to dine on Christmas, and the spread is absolutely amazing. So when I put two and two together, Judy, I thought, now I know why Joey was like, well, I'll just do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be
Totally
here.
Bad, Joey. We're so on to you. You're so blatant about the food.
He's here for the lobster.
That's right, and there's plenty of it. You know, this is a funny story because we found some great places that are open on Christmas Day, and so many are not. But being Jewish, traditionally, I'm looking for the Chinese food. This year, there's very few Chinese restaurants that are actually open, so I'm saying call ahead. Yummy House is pretty much booked up. If you're going to place a takeout order, I would recommend an hour-and-a-half wait. Wow. Shangri-La will be open on Christmas Eve, but not Christmas Day. But fear not. I have some beautiful spreads, from buffets to ordering off the menu, with some beautiful water views. So we have it covered, and I think it would make Santa and Mrs. Claus very happy.
Yeah.
And Joey.
So. And Joey, that's right. And anyone who is not celebrating Christmas as well gets to dine in luxury. So that'll be wonderful. We'll join Judy in the kitchen in a little bit. Well, since we have Joey with us, it's always fun to poke a little fun at Joey, because that's what I try to do on a daily basis. So we know Joey has his little dog, Lulu. You know, Lulu's kind of a crabby girl. Would you agree with that?
She's a Chihuahua, so you know they say there are two personalities to a Chihuahua, the one that I see and the one that the world sees. The one that I see is loving and sweet and affectionate, and the world gets...
And she, I think, has bit both Linda and me on occasion, just taking in a little nip at us.
You know.
So it would be appropriate that Lulu's best friend is what creature?
The Grinch. This is amazing. So Lulu never has played with a toy ever, and I bought her toys for years, and she never played with them. I gave up. This little tiny Grinch doll that we unpacked with our Christmas decorations, she spoons with him. It's amazing. We tease that, oh, Lulu, it's your boyfriend. So we moved the Grinch from bed to bed so she can always have him with her.
So she's in love with the Grinch.
We say she's Cindy Lulu.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
That's actually an awesome story.
I know,
with the
we're
Cindy
super
Lulu.
corny in our house.
I just think it goes along with her general demeanor.
The fact that she doesn't like anything else but the Grinch.
She found a man who understands her.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Right. Listen, tell her we are not stealing Christmas, right?
No,
We've only got
that's
a few
fine.
days to go, and it's going to happen.
She's going to keep him home and happy, so he won't be stealing anybody's Christmas.
Got some odd things happening in your house, my friend. And that's where we stop asking questions. Although I do have a pup date for you. Of course, Wrigley is home for the holidays, since he is now a permanent part of our home, since he had some medical issues. Well, unlike Lulu, he is game for anything. This is the ultimate party animal. He will do whatever you want him to do, and my daughter takes that to the nth degree, constantly dressing the dog up. He literally sat there for a half hour with this silly thing on his head. No problem. Take a picture. Cheerful as can be.
He is such a lab.
He's smiling.
But he's like the textbook example of a Labrador Retriever. He is just happy and like up for anything. Like,
Up
hey,
for it?
you know,
Okay.
I'm here.
Here.
Yes.
He also is known as a big dork in my house as a result, because everyone looks at him like, exactly, really, dog? You'll do that?
But don't push him too far. He's a big guy.
He is a big guy, but he is a gentle giant. I will
Yes.
say that. So Wrigley's having a nice Christmas at home. All right, it is time for our first hot topic, and some big things coming out of the Florida legislature. Florida is making a move to raise the legal age to buy cigarettes, chew, and vaping devices to 21. A bill filed Tuesday increases the age from 18 where it currently stands. Those in favor say the increase is essential to save lives and reduce health care costs. So the first 2 offenses in a year would be penalized with community service. Florida would be the 6th state to make this law if it goes through. 21 to smoke. What do you think?
I agree
think
with
it's
this.
a great idea. I've been on the American Cancer Society Board of Directors, and we push so hard for this. There's a huge number of lives it will save. So it's a very important thing. I know the kids will hate it, but my husband died from smoking. It actually killed him, his mother, his ex-wife, my mother. So I think it's a great idea.
I understand that, smoking is a choice that a person makes, and I know people are consciously making that decision, but I want to make sure that they're old enough to. So I think 21 is, just give them a little bit more time, just like drinking. You can do it if that's what you want to do, but make sure that your brain has developed enough where you're making really good decisions that may help your, if you're going to make a bad decision, you know what you're getting into.
Well, I tend to be a libertarian in most things where I just don't want the law to protect me from my own bad choices. I believe everyone can make their own choice, and I don't. However, smoking, to me, if Linda was to smoke, it's affecting me because it's right next to me. Walking through smoke. How many times you walking downtown or walking somewhere and someone in front of you smoking, and then you're smoking. So I'm a big fan of this. As someone who smoked as a teenager, I wish that I wasn't able to access cigarettes.
All right, let me be jaded. I'm the jaded teenage mother. You smoked as a teenager. Was
And
it
it
really
was
going to
illegal?
stop you if the law was 18 or 21?
Not at all.
So here's my complaint about it. And I everything you've said, I 100% agree with. Of course, the health concerns and all of that side smoke. If a teenager decides to do something wrong, a teenager is going to do something wrong. It doesn't matter what the law is. And what I don't want to have happen is our resources going toward, penalizing teenagers who are going to do bad things regardless from 18 versus 21. Like, is there really that big of a difference between 18 and 21? We had a massive, massive drug bust in Manatee County this week, which I am so proud of our law enforcement for. Wouldn't you rather be getting, heroin and fentanyl off the streets than busy busting teenagers?
I do agree with you, but I don't think it's going to be that they're going to be like looking for these smokers out
hope
there.
not.
No. I just feel like it's just, and don't get me wrong, I think 18 and 21 is not that big of a deal, but my mindset changed a lot between 18 and 21. The decisions that I made when I was 18 and the decisions that I made when I was 21 is different. Even though some of them were still juvenile, you just have a little bit more thought process going on at 21, I think.
I'm just afraid the 16-year-olds are going to do it
Well, there's-
regardless.
yeah,
and
there's
that's
no way
where
to-
the
how do you
problem
enforce
starts.
Kill
it?
people regardless, even though there's a law.
Good point.
So you can't say don't make a law because somebody's going to break it.
Well,
So-
how do you
Valid.
enforce this anyway?
I mean, it's just
it
a
might
thing.
You
make
card
more-
the kid.
It might make more sense to try to get ahead of it, and do, I don't know, is it more education or different education? Because the smoking education in schools, I don't know, is working.
But that's the thing, is I don't think it's necessarily about enforcing. I think on the smoker level, I think it's about the stores. So
Selling it.
And those are bigger
I think
crimes.
that's where really this is going to come into play. The stores are going to be like, you can't buy it. So now that teenager is going to have to go through several more hoops to try to get that cigarette. It just makes it a little.
It makes it harder. I like alcohol, but sadly, we know the kids are drinking too. I mean,
Yeah.
when there's a will, there's a way, and sadly, there's a back way to most everything.
That's
so,
true.
well, we'll see what happens. Again, being only the 6th state that would push this through shows that we're on the forefront. So
I love the fact
that's
that I
a good
still
thing.
get carded for both smoking and alcohol. I do. So they're not taking any chances.
Really? Somewhat taken
just
aback
gonna
by
say
that.
You're so
I'm not sure.
surprised.
That's good though, Linda.
Actually,
I
that's
think so.
amazing. And now we're totally diverting and messing up timing here. But a lot of stores say, we card under 40. So you must look 40.
Go
That's
ahead,
amazing.
Linda. Whatever
Actually,
you-
I don't know, but I bring up my driver's
And I'm
license.
busy being annoyed that I haven't been carded in years. Thank
whatever
you very
you're
much.
doing-
So.
Whatever you're
Gotta
doing is
keep doing
working,
it.
Linda.
Keep doing it, Linda.
All right, well, speaking of annoyed, this list of this year's most annoying words is out, and there's not a lot of surprises. The winner's very familiar. Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's said in a marriage. Whatever. One of the most annoying words that exists, according to the annual Marist College poll. This is the 9th straight year they've done it. There's a newcomer, though. Number 2, fake news. Everybody's finding that concept annoying. No offense comes in 3rd, which is one of my favorite phrases
Because if you say it, you're offensive.
Thank you. If you
Yeah.
have to start a sentence with that, obviously you're about to offend somebody. Number 4, literally.
Oh, yeah.
And number 5, you know what I mean. Because if you have to say, you know what I mean?
You never had to say what you had to say.
You don't-
anyway.
Thank you. You're
And
wasting your
literally-
breath.
But everybody says, you know, at the end of everything they say. It's sort of like a rest word. So they give a sentence and they, you know.
Which is annoying just
Yeah.
because
Very
it's
annoying.
Because I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Well, and if I did
And
know,
even
you
if I
shouldn't
do-
tell me.
Even if I do know, I'll pretend that I don't because I don't. You need to tell me
I don't
exactly.
wanna
I don't
hurt
want
your
any
feelings.
assumptions.
All right, fess up. Do you use whatever?
I do all the time.
When you're annoyed and trying to be difficult?
Or when I just don't want to be rude and I just say I'm going to let it go and I'm going to say whatever.
Whatever is the
You're
worst.
wrong, but I don't want to argue anymore.
No,
Yeah.
it's the worst because it ends the conversation. If you're arguing with someone or you're debating something and they say whatever, they have left you with so many
So
things to say.
It's a
and
big
no-
problem in my
that is
marriage.
my goal.
My husband is a whatever. Sorry, honey. And when he whatevers me, that's the thing I say. Don't you whatever me. We are not done.
Yeah.
You know, because that is an immediate. I'm shutting down on
It
you.
is.
Remember
It
in
means
the
I've already
late
done-
90s, it was this. This was whatever.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. That was a way to get somebody
I
back
missed
without
that.
saying it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
W
missed
with
the
your
W.
hand.
Oh, W.
Now they do it for win. It's a little more
Oh.
polite.
Gosh.
All right, well, don't say whatever, and fake news deserves to be on the list because we are obviously all very offended by that. Well, if that's what she said is on your list of things that you like to say, you'll be thrilled to hear that The Office is reportedly returning. Word is NBC planning to revamp the show for fall 2018. Well, here's the big bummer. It will be without Steve Carell. The search is underway for a new general manager, but after a Will and Grace revival worked, NBC says they have high hopes
Oh, my.
for The Office.
This is great news. The Office was so. I mean, it wasn't that it was ahead of its time because it had a very strong audience then, but more people have watched it now in binging and
Absolutely.
in reruns and
Yeah.
syndication that I'm so glad that it's going to be back on. Little worried about it without Steve Carell. That makes me a little
Yeah, that makes-
concerned
that does.
he had that perfect dry wit.
Yes, yes.
Do we know anyone else?
But
with
I
that
think
dry
I
wit?
love the show because it really it made you think about your office.
Yes.
And you're like, yep, I know someone that
You
acts
knew
just
those people. They
like
worked
that.
with
and
you.
yep, and it just made you you felt those characters.
And I admittedly have not watched it, but what I think is
Hilarious.
interesting is that my children, who are certainly were not watching it when it came out because it wouldn't have been appropriate, have since binge watched it as teenagers and absolutely loved it. So the appeal is wide stretching.
And
So-
I don't say this about a lot of sitcoms, but it is also one of those shows that if you rewatch it, you will find things that you missed because the humor is so subtle sometimes.
Yes.
It's great. I'm
love it.
excited.
That's good.
Might be a
guys-
good reason to catch up
Do you
before
guys
it comes
remember
out.
the movie that this spawned from, Office Space?
Yes.
Yeah, now I love
so.
that movie.
Another favorite. I mean,
Yes.
it really does take, because, you know, that cubicle living, sorry, I've been there myself. Sometimes I'm
I
still
live there. Both and Stephanie.
Yes.
and
we're in
I.
cubicles.
living is tough living, you know? So to
Yeah.
have an outlet that finds humor in it, that maybe it can get you through a rough Wednesday, I'm all for.
I love it.
All right, I'm going to get it the second time around. So what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and Lady Gaga is now staying there. Gaga released to her monsters that she is getting her own residency at Park's MGM Park Theater for 2 years. She tweeted, "This is a lifelong dream to be a Vegas showgirl, and that she is made for this town. I will tell you, my husband is all over me to go to Vegas with him, and this will do it, because I would love to see her."
Oh, I would
that's a
too.
good
Oh
show.
yes, and to
No, she
see
does a good
to see a
show.
concert in Vegas, the best concerts I've ever seen have been on trips to Vegas, and I think it's because I was in a different mindset. When you go to a concert, sometimes locally, you're driving, you're parking, you're making sure you can get out of work
Yeah.
early. In Vegas, you're just
You're already
chilled.
relaxed.
Yes, you've had a day by the pool.
And aren't the
maybe.
venues, I have not been at Parks MGM, it's more intimate than, say, Amalie Arena, where she was last in Tampa, right? I mean, you're going to get a more intimate
I mean,
experience.
sometimes
The
Something
MGM
so.
arena is
Sometimes
pretty
they're
large.
big,
But
yeah.
it's not that big, and it's
Yeah.
still more glamorous, more.
But yeah, they
Las
put more
Vegas-y.
effort into the production. It's like a huge production because you're competing against other shows.
Right,
So
that makes
they
sense.
try
Charging
to
a lot
make,
of money.
Yeah, and they try to make sure some of these shows are amazing. You're amazed that they do that every single
Would you
night.
pay to see her in Vegas?
Lady Gaga, no. But
Because of the
but I'm not a
personal
Lady
choice.
Gaga fan.
Okay.
Well, I'm
All
not
right.
particularly, but I would, just because she's such a showman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
don't want to see Rob.
I'm interested, and I don't say that very
She said
often.
she doesn't want to see Rob
Well, she
Meek.
wore a dress made out of me.
I think she's out of that phase now.
Yeah, she's grown up a little.
She probably has that in her closet.
Oh, let's hope
I
not.
hope not. It smells bad if it does.
All right, well, here's a great example of nationwide holiday spirit. This is one of my favorite stories. New Zealand holds a nationwide Secret Santa exchange via Twitter. Twitter. So more than 3,600 people took part, signing up to give and receive gifts with total strangers from the internet. Users sign up to play through the postal system. Then they get sent the Twitter handle of a person to buy a gift for. Here's the cool part. You are expected to kind of Twitter sleuth, stalk their Twitter to figure out what the person is into. And then you send a $10 surprise in the mail that relates to that person. Now people are posting their gifts. So if it was obvious I liked Lady Gaga, then you could send me a little bobblehead or something of Lady Gaga to show that you took the time to look into.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
That's a
Of
great
course, we had
way.
Secret Santa at the station today.
same concept.
Yes, yes,
But I
yes.
think it's good because, you know, not everyone has someone there to buy them a gift. And I think this is just a way to help, you know, get into the spirit. And for those who are alone, they have something to open.
Yeah,
And maybe some friendships are forged.
Well, we
Yeah.
say a lot of times and complain that you know, well, that things are breaking over here, but then that Twitter and different technology can keep us apart and keep us in silos. This is a great example of using technology to kind of bridge a gap, and it's like a pen pal.
Yeah,
It is.
to make somebody smile.
It's a new technology pen pal and a great way to make somebody smile. So something to think about, kind of like that. Go New Zealand. All right, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast, and when we come back, I cannot wait to introduce you to one of our favorite realtors and his new addition. It's a great adoption story. Stay with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather forecast for this happy hour. Looking really good. Had a little bit of cloudiness around today as a result of the low clouds and fog that kind of lifted and caused the sun to be blocked out just a little bit. You can see that rolling in earlier this afternoon, and then kind of moving off to the east right now. We are anticipating the possibility of some more fog developing late tonight. Right now, generally fair, and 73, another nice warm day. The dew point 68, and winds out of the southwest at 10. The pressure at 30.07, and that is still high, although falling slightly from yesterday. Temperatures around the area a little cooler near the coast, warmer inland as expected with that west wind and the Gulf water. Temperature now at 72 degrees, keeping things pretty close to just there at 72 near the coast. And the current fog conditions, not nearly as much out there right now, but we are anticipating the possibility of some fog and sea fog rolling in later on tonight. We're going to talk about the rest of this work week and into the weekend, and then also Christmas Day coming up at 5. See you then.
One of our favorite Suncoast realtors takes us inside amazing homes as part of our Suncoast for Sale segments. However, he has some pretty amazing things happening inside his own home. Andrew Haddad recently experienced an international adoption, and he is here to tell us about it and introduce us to his princess, Emily. And we need to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And to
And
Emily.
that's
She
right.
just turned 1
Just
year
turned
old.
1 year old. I know.
How exciting.
Absolutely.
So let's back up a year,
Sure.
probably even a year plus.
Yes.
And tell us what made you consider international adoption.
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, when you make that decision to go the adoption route, there's just such a slew of information out there. Just as you can imagine on Google, like international versus, you know, national and all of this.
Domestic,
And so, you know, for my wife and I, it was more of a personal decision. You know, in Japan, which we were introduced to some friends who had a great program they went through, they had success, because that's one of the biggest things we fear is all these horror stories that you hear. Yet they had success, they referred us into this program, and she was an orphan that we went over there, and we got her at 3 weeks old. And so
amazing.
it was just incredible. And from a timing standpoint, you wouldn't even believe this. I think it was August when we're like, okay, 100% committed. And then we were over there January 7th. It moved fast, which is actually opposite of the norm, where sometimes it could be a year, 2 years, or, you know, you've heard longer stories.
So I learned that it's so different country to country. Had a friend this weekend that just taught me about Hong Kong.
Sure.
They don't release their children until age 2.
Yep.
So it's very different. If someone is interested but not sure what to do first,
Yep.
what's your recommendation?
Gosh, that's a good question. You know, and that's the thing. I'm always going to go with the referral. If you know some friends or family that have been through the process, ask the questions. Now that we've been through the process, we love to be able to help or assist with questions. You're so right, though. From country to country, it is completely different. And so, like in Russia or China, like they'll open up countries and then they'll close countries, meaning they won't allow any adoptions for a temporary period.
Right.
So you could be on a waiting list and then, you know, get the call that, hey, our country is closed. So there's a lot of different things to consider.
Tell us
going
about
into
your
that.
experience of
Yeah.
going overseas to Tokyo. I mean, that itself is an experience.
was.
And then you came home with a baby.
That's right, I know. So this is actually pictures from our hotel room. And of course, since she was 3 weeks old, so we were in the hotel room a lot. And we had a beautiful view out to Tokyo right there. This was the orphanage right here where she was. Emily was an orphan. So her mother was unwed, and her father, unfortunately, was not living. So
Right.
she was considered classified an orphan, which allowed us as Americans to be able to adopt her. Otherwise, we would not be able to adopt a baby from Japan if she wasn't an orphan.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
So-
And right away, so that you were able to have a newborn. I mean, having that
Absolutely.
newborn experience.
And that was important to us as well. We really wanted to have the newborn experience. It's been an incredible year this year, and we just love it.
Is it rare to be able to get your new child at 3 weeks old, that young?
I would say yes. I would say yes. We opened up the parameters, so we didn't, boy or girl, it didn't matter. We did want a younger age, yet it narrows your window of opportunity for babies. So. But
And where are
I
you
was
in the
thinking of
process
that,
yeah.
now? Has the adoption been finalized?
Sure.
Or-
Okay, so that's a great question. So we were so busy getting everything ready, and then we did the adoption, and then to come back and we're like, all right, we did it. So we had to go in front of the courthouse and do the judge. So
okay,
we've
I
done
didn't know
that. So
that.
it is officially finalized as of
congrats.
right now. We are still waiting. I was up in Tampa at immigration last week. We're still waiting for her Social Security card and all the other kind
Right.
of stuff. So there's still some other processes in place. But yeah, my recommendation, or if I could say anything to anybody, it's if this is a dream or a calling for you, don't let anything stand in your way, because there are resources out there, there's people out there that have been through it, and it is possible.
And is there a need there?
There is a need. I think there's a need both in our country and throughout the world. And the crazy thing is there are so many families like ours that we wanted to adopt. We were called to adopt a baby, and we did it. Yes, there's a lot of things, a lot of obstacles, a lot of hoops you have to go through.
And it's like a dating game. There's
Just
parents that want babies, and
Yep.
there's babies that need parents. So tell us
Right.
real quick about your
Yeah.
home life. This is your first holiday season.
Oh, there you go. Welcome to
Dad?
baby life.
Oh, Dad,
There you
ready
go.
to go. All right, A+ for Andrew as a
That's
dad.
right.
Picking out a Kleenex in need.
So does she want to go into, does she have any interest in the real estate career? Does she?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Well, she watches the show every single week, and as a matter of fact, we did actually bring a home on here. I wanted to keep this
perfect.
in the light of selling the Suncoast. So for all those families that are with their kids and they want that vacation getaway, this is on Minnesota Key, which is phenomenal. It's a 11-mile barrier island, and it's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1.475 million, right on the Gulf. And again, for those people that have with their kids all the time, if they want a little getaway, right in our own backyard on the Suncoast, we have our dream home.
I
right
would
on
stay
Minnesota
home
Key.
there
You
and
like
chase
that?
toddlers very happily.
Yep. I think she wants her
Andrew, we
thing.
love seeing
You're
you
very
in this
welcome.
light. I know
Absolutely.
the praises for your hands-on
Yes.
dad abilities
You're
are
doing
very
such a
high
great
from
job.
everybody. So congratulations.
We're so blessed. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
congratulations.
adorable.
And thank you for sharing the story. We've been begging him to bring the
I know.
baby in. So, all right. Well, happy birthday to Andrew and Emily. And of course, you can always find Andrew and the homes for sale on his website, sellingthesuncoast.com. Coming up next, another great last-minute gift idea. The clock is ticking. This is for your foodie friends. Stay with us.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
And welcome back. We are one day closer to Christmas, and if you're still looking for gift ideas, food is always a great solution, especially when it tastes great and gets delivered right to your door. Now, senior producer Joey Panic joins us with today's holiday gift guide ideas, and it's perfect for the procrastinators like me because it comes right to your door.
Yes, absolutely. And Bobeth, I'm with you usually in that I give gifts at the very last minute. So I've sent more edible arrangements than I even care to admit because you can do it same day. But this is great if there's still somebody you're looking for. We've heard it, we've talked about subscription boxes, right?
Yeah.
Where you can sign up for a subscription every month, something comes. The thing that I think we all grapple with is we want to support local, we want to support small businesses. This merges both of them. The company's called Farm to People.
Oh, I like that.
And it was started, it's actually a family-run business now. And it was started as a way to kind of help you find small batch producers and farmers who maybe have some obstacles to getting their food to you. First of all, unless you're traveling and have access to a farmer's market, you might not even know about any of these smaller places. And this is great. And it also helps connect you. So in some ways, if there's something in a box that you love, you'll find out exactly where it came from. So then you can go to them, go to their website. So it's not cannibalizing the smaller farmers and businesses. It's actually helping connect them to us.
Okay, I like that.
Right.
So you can give someone a subscription. So this is an example. This was the October box that came.
Okay.
Every month you get a box that is kind of themed around a different, the holidays. This one was more of a harvest.
Okay.
So in here you're getting, pumpkin butter. And if you go on their website, it can tell you exactly what state it came from, what farm it came from. And it's all really, really interesting, fun things. This one I love. It's grape shrub, which you can mix in a cocktail if you happen to be so inclined.
So these come monthly, kind of themed if you do the subscription.
Which I like.
Okay.
So the next one's coming, so you can go ahead and get them a subscription for maybe 3 months. That'd be a nice gift.
And what about this box?
You can also, they have gift boxes. So this is separate from the monthly.
Only.
If I can either go on and pick out my own, or they have them already themed for you. This one that's in front of Linda Bobeth, this is Guilty Pleasures. You'll see, I love, there's vanilla goat milk caramel sauce. That's amazing. Comes from Fat Toad Farm in Vermont. There's candied bacon caramel corn, which you can see all the way on the right there. This was actually made with Neiman Ranch bacon, and that producer is in San Mateo, California. There's some things from Portland in there. There's some cherry cola gumdrops, just really unusual. So it's all guilty pleasures.
And then the last box.
In front of Stephanie is the charcuterie board builder, which you can see there's some great crackers, there's some meats, all stuff to help you build a board. And the last thing I should tell you is, if you buy it this close to the holidays, they let you print out a gift certificate that you can put in a card, so you don't have to say, oh, sorry, I got you something, I just don't have it. So you have something physical you can give them.
And then they know that it'll come in the mail.
Yes.
All right, well, if you guys want to get more information about the Farm to People, just go to visit their website. And as a reminder, we want to let you know all the products we talk about this month is going to be in our Suncoast View gift guide, and you just go to suncoastview.com/gift guide to get a list of all of them. They're all there. Next, it's A Blue Christmas with the Florida Studio Theater. We'll be right back.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
It'll be a blue Christmas here on the Suncoast because Elvis has left the building. And he has been seen at the Florida Studio Theater's Cabaret Theater. And today the cast of Blue Suede Shoes is here with a preview of this 1950s rock and roll show. Take it away, guys.
Well, it's a 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off my blue suede shoes. Well, you can knock me down, step on my face, slander my name all over the place. Do anything that you want to do, but honey, lay off with them shoes. But don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Well, you can burn my house, steal my car, drink my liquor from a old fruit jar. Do anything that you want to do, but honey, lay off of my shoes. But don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Well, it's a blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes, baby. Blue suede shoes, yes. Blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Lay off of my blue suede shoes.
I feel like a kid again. That's awesome. Yes. Well, Catherine, you must be very proud. This is Catherine Randazzo, who is the director of Blue Suede Shoes.
Yes.
How'd that make you feel?
Like I want to get up and dance and sing. And what a great way.
Yeah.
Great way to
Yet
feel.
it's about a lot more than just Elvis.
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, the show takes us through not just the 50s, but we're talking about the influence of rock and roll on all genres of music and how all genres of music influenced rock and roll. So, you know, you don't have just that feeling. You've got rockabilly, you've got country, you've got rhythm and blues, you've got bluegrass.
Wow.
And in this show, you will see a touch of all of that. And what's really unique about this process is that, you know, you have this very diverse cast, which is fantastic. And they come from different eras and what music they know. And they're able to put their spin on what the sound is. And we took songs that were, you know, strictly rock and roll, but like Nigel would make it really cool rhythm and blues.
Oh.
So it's just a mashup of everything you can think of from that era.
And you say that's history. Well, to me, that's what I remember.
Right.
When I was in high school, Elvis came out. He was awesome. We cried when we heard him. And then in the 60s, I was working, my husband was working. We went to Las Vegas and saw Elvis on stage. And he was there again, a sort of a different kind of person, but he was awesome. Once again, I cried in a theater.
That's incredible.
See, history.
That is a memory that I can't imagine, you know, how many people have that memory, and to talk to somebody who had seen him live, I think has got to be a phenomenal experience.
There were a lot of us, and he was just amazing. Every minute he was on stage, he was entertaining.
Absolutely.
No
You
matter
must have
what
done a
was
lot
going
of
on in his
research.
whole life.
Obviously, I mean, you know, we all are familiar with a lot of his big hits and everything. But what did you learn as you were preparing for the show about Elvis himself?
Well, it's great that you asked that question because you know, I love music, so I try to listen to every possible thing that I can. But in this case, I really wasn't the hugest of Elvis fans, but everybody around me has always been. And of course, I was born where he was just kind of being the older Elvis. So I wanted to go back and see what made Elvis who he was. And I did a lot of research on documentaries, and I looked at his older videos, and the quality that came forth for me was he would talk to his audience. He was a simple guy. He had humble beginnings, and he had no idea of his impact and his power on the audience.
Really?
No. So when he would deliver a song, I mean, it came from the heart. It didn't come from, you know, I have to show off. It came from, this is what I feel, and this is what I want to do. And if he could touch anybody through music, that was part of what he wanted to do.
Well, what made you take that story and say, I want to put this on stage?
Well, Rebecca Hopkins was the lead writer and developer on the show, along with Richard Hopkins, and she absolutely loved how the roots of music came from this era. And we have so many of our audience members that know all of this music. There isn't one song they don't. Right? And so it was the perfect show to put into the cabaret. And especially when you have performers that can play their own instruments like this group does. And not only do they play one instrument, they play 2, 3, 4 instruments. I mean,
well, that piano was like an aerobic exercise watching him play. It was awesome.
It hasn't sounded like that before.
Our piano? Oh, yeah, no. If you can make our piano sound that good, you are talented.
The show's been open for a few weeks now. What has the audience reaction been?
Unbelievable. I mean, tickets are flying, and people, all they say is, I can't believe it. I remember when I was on my first date and this song played, and we got married in this year, my husband and I, and this song played at our wedding, or we danced to this, or, I mean, just people want to get up and dance. It's incredible.
But it's got to be good, because those of us who have memories that go back then, we don't want you to ruin them. So they are so awesome. They are so great that it just makes you feel good.
That's right.
When you're in that theater.
It is. It's a feel good. It's exactly right, Linda. You want the audience to be a part of it. They're so close, and they're so close to the performers that they feel the energy, and they love it. They just absolutely love it.
I like to know that the music was really good back then.
It was.
So it makes me feel really good. We were pretty good. And of course,
you were really
everybody's
good.
yeah, me and Elvis. Yeah. Well, Blue Suede Shoes is at the Florida Studio Theater now through April 1st. You can visit their website for tickets and showtimes. It's a great outing for the holidays. Next, we're going to take a field trip to one of my favorite holiday traditions. But first, would you guys sing just a little bit more for us?
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake, rock and roll. I said shake, rock and roll. I said shake, rock and roll. I said shake, rock and roll. Well, you won't do right to save your doggone soul. Well, I'm like a one-eyed cat peeping through the seafood store.
Have a great holiday. Happy holidays from ABC 7.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. A cold case heats up. How detectives say they were able to make an arrest in a 6-year-old Sarasota County murder investigation. Plus, a Christmas miracle. How one Sarasota woman's life was saved not once but twice thanks to Sarasota police officers. Let's get a check now on our first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Scott, same old story. Some fog around this morning and could be a problem again tomorrow morning as we see a little shift, though. Winds will be out of the southwest, which will bring the potential for some sea fog onshore. Sometimes that sticks around a little longer. We had some clouds around today, too. You saw that through the noon hour and then eventually clearing out here. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures did manage to warm up into the upper 70s to low 80s. 73 right now. And the dew point temperature way up there at 68. There is a cold front on the way. We'll talk about that front coming up at 5.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device. Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC 7 digital media services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC 7 digital media services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-817-1064.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
It's definitely beginning to look a lot like Christmas at Selby Gardens. The gardens are about to open in the evenings for the 14th year of Lights in Bloom, and Linda took a field trip for a sneak peek. Let's take a look.
3, 2, 1.
What is the theme of Lights in Bloom this year?
Lights in Bloom is all about the tropics. You know, we're here in Florida. We might as well celebrate that it's warm. We're not going to be in an alpine village, so we're here in a tropical winter wonderland. Some of the favorite things people love are the butterflies. We have 32 butterflies that are in the air. We have the Florida reindeer, which are our flamingos with antlers.
Last year we had a few in our display and they were such a hit that we made a whole flock for the community to enjoy.
It is so beautiful around here, but this doesn't just happen. Who makes this happen?
We have a lot of volunteers, and we also work with a wonderful company called Affairs in the Air, and they begin planning in July for this, and setup actually begins just after Halloween.
I don't think you do this like I do at home. You just start putting them up and see what happens. Do you start on a drawing board?
We actually come up with the ideas, all of this together. We have a really great team of 11 people, and my husband is the leader. And he just kind of comes up with ideas. He starts drawing, and we figure out how many weeks it's going to take us. So we started 6 weeks ago and got everything up. It's definitely not like decorating your house.
What was the hardest one to make?
I would have to say the caterpillar.
You walk through the caterpillar?
Yes, you do. He's 80 feet long, and he actually has his eyes and tentacles on both sides.
I love coming out here because the kids can let go and run around and yell and be themselves.
Well, and it's not just the kids, it's the parents too. It is fun, it's a relaxing evening, it's very festive.
And there's food and drink and festive music, and it's just really a terrific way to celebrate the holidays with your family.
Oh, I love it.
It's so much fun. That's one thing we always do. Now, it opens the 21st and it goes through the 30th of December. It's not open Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We pulled up one Christmas Eve, came piling out of our cars and looked around. It was black. Nobody was there.
I will tell you, from having gone after Christmas, it's a really great way to kind of extend that holiday spirit in that week between Christmas and New Year's, where you're usually looking for something to do. If you've got family in town, the kids are home. It's just a really great feeling.
Overall, I love Christmas lights when you go and look at this, but they do such a great job making the garden turn into, this is just amazing.
And you're not cold. If you came from up north, the concept of walking around outside in the last week in December is amazing.
Can we all agree that they were great to begin with, but Selby Gardens is most improved over the last several years? I mean, they really turned that entire property into something really
the decorators are amazing professionals, so they spend 6 months doing this. They know what they're doing.
All right, just a reminder, Lights in Bloom starts December 21st and runs through the evening of December 30th. Again, they're not open on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Just go to Selby's website for all of the information. And next, do you take too many selfies? I know a couple people that might. It might be a condition also.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if your loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Minnesota Flooring and the Boys and Girls Club came together with the community to open a creative space for kids. Thank you to everyone in our community dedicated to helping our children brighten their future.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwell's at Einstein's, at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
All right, you know who you are. There's a disorder a lot of people suffer from, and now there's a name. It's called selfitis. Psychologists are on the verge of validating this as an acute disorder. There's a borderline case, which means you take up to about 3 selfies a day, but you don't post to social media. Acute means you post at least 3 selfies a day. And extreme, this is called chronic selfitis, potentially a mental disorder. I didn't make this up. This is from the psychologist. That means you are posting up to 6 selfies a day. Right. So,
I'm not that bad. I know where this is going.
It's not me.
It's not me. It's not Bo Beth, and it's not Linda. So, Joey, we did a little kind of purveyance of social media. Let's take a look and see what's out there. Well, there was this one. Okay, that was earlier in the week. And then there was this one. So now we're up to 2. Oh, look, same concept. Look, let's see if we can find it. Oh, there's another one. That's 3. So he seems to like the men's dressing room. There's 1. There's 4. Don't I look good here? Oh, you do. That's a fresh haircut. Oh, there's 5. Looking manly with Lulu.
Took that one.
She did not take that one. Oh, there I am at the Magic Kingdom, feeling the magic. He likes suit jackets, tank tops, and oh my, we're having a facial treatment.
How else will you know what I'm doing?
Do we care?
No, I got it. I have a good argument for this. There's 2 reasons why I take a ton of selfies. I'll say this quickly. The first is I don't have someone to take them for me. So I have to say, if I want to show you a picture, I don't have a photographer. And second, 20 years ago, I did not have a camera with me at all times. Now I do.
So he's making up for it.
Yes,
and the third reason's a good one. He promotes every time he's on the show, and that helps all of us. So there we go. All right. Well, Beth and I are more interested in eating. We're headed to the kitchen. Judy's going to show us some great restaurants open on Christmas Day.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. An increase in traffic crashes along the Suncoast has some drivers concerned. We'll look at the trend and what you can do to avoid being part of the problem. And in first alert traffic right now, we're not seeing any major crashes to be on the lookout for right now. If you're hitting the interstate, it looks like smooth sailing, except for one of the typical slowdown spots right near University Parkway exit. Now let's get another check on the weather with Bob.
First alert forecast, Scott, looking pretty good tonight, although we will see that fog again. We had a little cloudiness around earlier today that has since slipped on to the east, and we are looking at warm temperatures. Dew points way up there in the upper 60s. And for lows tonight, we'll see lows into the mid to upper 60s, really under mostly fair skies with the exception of the fog. Southwest winds keeping things a little bit cooler near the coast with the water temperatures in the low 70s. Look at these temperatures just hanging right there around 70. More of your forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Season's greetings from the all-new Good Morning Suncoast team.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Welcome back. We are here with Chef Judy and some options for restaurants, Judy, that are open for Christmas Day.
So many emails and calls from guests everywhere looking for places to dine. So I picked out 4 that give you a variety of where you're traveling. And remember, just always call ahead because there may be some small places that are open that we don't know about, okay? So let's start over here at the Zota Beach Resort. And this is Viento Kitchen. And Stephanie, I know you were saying it's so lovely to sit there and have cocktails.
The view is amazing on Christmas Day.
The view is amazing. So if you have relatives from where it's snowing, you got to bring them there. So they open at 7 in the morning for a lovely breakfast spread, fresh baked pastries. They'll have an omelet station. Look at that bagel and lox. I have chef envy. When I see something decorated that well, I love that. But also they'll have a holiday assortment of an asparagus and wild mushroom salad, some crab stuffed snapper, carved prime rib. Many people have asked me, where can I find prime rib? And I say, well, other than my house. So that's a really great option. And remember, it's a holiday. Do make your reservations. Next, we have Madison's 41. And Madison's always brings a great spread. From shrimp cocktails, and they'll have a huge boat of this, to beautifully hand-carved Niman Ranch roast. We have stuffed spaghetti squash, green beans with goat cheese. I just like saying it. I love even eating it even more. And a salmon that's topped with clams casino type filling. Isn't that creative? Boom! Merry Christmas. And of course, it's not Madison's and a holiday without Chef Ray's beautiful pastry display. So you now have permission. You may dig in. It's right under my nose. I saw your eyes bulging.
Did you see me chewing earlier too? I was trying to.
I missed it. I've been picking on the duck fat Brussels sprouts, and I will save a few for Chris. But I was going for the vegetable platter. Now next, let's go over to Jack Dusty's. Another view that you just say, oh. You know, it's so relaxing. The service is spot on. And, okay, I have a slice for each of you. They made me an extra can of brown bread, and Nikki Logan and I, of course, I have sticks of butter. So Nikki Logan and I kind of tucked in. But grilled rack of lamb. This I love because, you know, the Feast of the Seven Fishes, and what I can tell you about that is the fish, how many depends on which country you're from. But this offers a beautiful assortment of branzino and mussels, and it's layers of fish. Such an on-point dish, as is their roasted beet salad. Stephanie, you've been waiting an hour to say it.
I know.
Dessert, say it.
The bouche de Noël.
But she said beet.
No, that's the beet salad.
No, this is the.
I don't like beets.
It's Stephanie's just been waiting to say
you know what? I
bouche de
studied
Noël.
French for years. It's such a
and you
cool
nailed
concept.
it. You nailed it. Now let's go over to Felipe Creek Oyster Bar. Now their sister restaurant, the table is open on Christmas Eve, but the Creek is open Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Oh, really?
Oh, and they do hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, look at this, a seafood paella with lobster and shrimp and mussels and all those great flavors. You have the seafood stuffed fish along with crab and lobster as a duo. Alaskan king crab, and if anybody is like a crab lover, Alaskan king crab, and get them at the creek. Dip them in drawn butter, it's so good. And then they have things like a seafood stuffed grouper with grilled asparagus and even more specials. And of course they do have a couple meat options for those that don't like seafood, but this is a great place with a big family. You can just call ahead and say, I have, 26 people. They'll figure it out.
Really?
It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be so gorgeous on Christmas that I think you're going to,
warm. We have warm temperatures
so
this year.
you can sit out and enjoy wherever you may go. And just to all our viewers, we hope your holiday is as tasteful as ever. And to all of you, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's definitely better when someone else is doing the cooking.
That's right.
Hint, hint, hint.
Isn't that delicious? The vegetables are great.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Judy. Remember, reservations early for this upcoming Christmas weekend and, of course, the New Year's weekend, which is coming up as well. Stop taking selfies. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Be sure to take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view. All right, go.